Hey YouTube, how you doing? Kevin here, coming at you with the powermate 5000 watt generator. This is the one that has the broken governor inside of it. Basically, it broke while the engine was running. It went wide open throttle, and I got the thing for free. I went to go do the static adjustment, and it just rotated. So I don't know what's broken off inside there. I think it's the plastic wheel, but I have been wrong before. So we're going to take this thing apart. Yesterday, the very first video, part 1, we removed the gen set or generator head. People call it two different things. And now today we're going to remove the back cover. And to get started on this is basically, this is really easy to do. You got bolts all the way around your cover, but first, before you can take that apart, you must remove the muffler, which is held on with two bolts up in here, two flange bolts, which at the end of the video we ended up separating, not separating, lubing, so it would be prepared for today. So we're going to get this all. I'm adjusting my tripod right now, so you guys can watch and see what I'm doing. Can't do a hands-on video if you can't see what I'm doing, right? Sorry, it's all over the place at the moment. I'm just getting you guys getting ready to be set up here. Okay. Alright, let me get you guys on the tripod, and then we'll get to see what I'm doing. I'll possibly see what I'm doing. I'm probably going to be in your way a little bit, but you guys get the idea. Okay. Let's level this thing out if we can. Cool. Okay. You're going to be a little crooked, but it is what it is, right? Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I'm removing the exhaust flange bolts. These are 12mm on this particular machine, which I just had in my hand and put down, and now I can't find it. That is weird. Okay. So, let me get my stuff here. Here we go. I'm sitting on it. Alright, so at the end of the video yesterday, we sprayed the two nuts down, so we'll see how those come off. Then we sprayed these down with some PB Blast liquid wrench. Great product. Show you that right there. I'm not paid by them or anything like that. I just love this product, so I'm showing it off here. This stuff is awesome. I love it. I use it all the time. It's a little on the expensive side, but you know what? It is definitely worth its weight in gold. Let me tell you that right now. Because these bolts are here coming off like nothing. Exhaust bolts, guys. Exhaust bolts. Coming off by hand. Because of liquid wrench. Yeah. That's a good product. Let me do this side over here. Now, I could easily pull this engine off this frame and do it that way and put it on a bench and do it that way, but you know what? I don't need to, so I'm not going to. I can do it right on here just as easy. So that's the route that I'm taking. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alright. So get my impact gun here. Zap those out. Reverse. And yeah, it would be easier to do it, but you don't need to. And why take off more stuff than you have to? Just gonna have to put it back together again. Two bolts for the exhaust, and the exhaust is out. Gasket's still on the machine. You guys all see all that? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna put the bolts back into it where they came out of, because I don't need to have them floating around. Notice how I have no bin and bolts. I have no extra bolts left over. None of that type of stuff. Why? Because I put them back where they go. Okay. Then, the next part. Now that that's all exposed. See if I can get you on here. And I put the 2 bolts for the exhaust back in here. They are different bolts than the generator heads, genset bolts. Fair enough. Okay, so now we do the tedious job of removing the cover. I'm using my little snap-on. It's a IM31A. Love this gun. It's a great little gun for doing small engine stuff. It is not a heavy-duty gun, but man, I will tell you one thing. It's lightweight, compact. It makes doing this job, as you just saw, real easy. Okay. Got one more in there. Always double check, make sure you get them all. Because this cover requires you to pry on it. And prying on something that's not going to come apart, it's not going to be good. So here's the tedious part. You do not want to tap on this cover. This is a machine surface. You just want, it's gonna have a little bit of an oily mess when that happens. So what I like to do is I like to put something further under the motor. So we're gonna take that board out. We're gonna swap it with a more narrow, something narrow, and put the drain bucket under it further. So I have an old generator axle that we're going to use. This is an old one. Pop this board out. Pop this in place of the board to hold her up. Remove the oil bucket and stick it on the front side if we can. Sometimes you can't do this. Sometimes you have to go all the way, get something else. Like I'm gonna have to do. Luckily for me, I got the perfect bucket. I'll be right back. Now, see if this won't fit. Yeah. I have to change the angle of the block of wood so this fits underneath. Yeah, look at that. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Now that we're up there, we get the bucket underneath there to catch all the oil. And what I'm using for a tool now is my trusty snap-on pry bar. And then I'm going to pull right on the ears, if I can. Okay, there's residual oil, that's it. I used the lower ear and it popped right out. Here's a little ear down bottom. I pop that out. Just gonna let that drain for a second. There's always residual oil in there, remember that. So you don't want to do this when there's nothing underneath of it. Okay. Gonna lube the shaft for the seal. Because we're not replacing that seal, but we don't want to put it over a dry shaft, you know what I mean? Gonna have to clean that up a little bit, or else that ain't gonna come. Right back. Alright, so now I grab some sandpaper, some 320 grit. I'm going to take the cleaner, I mean not the, what do you call it there, the penetrating oil. And clean that up. Like I said, we don't want to ruin the shaft, not the shaft but the seal. And that can easily be done. I'll take a look and see what the problem is after we get this apart. Okay. Just like magic. Okay. Alright, so this is the governor wheel. Did you see those weights move out? When this thing spins fast, those weights move out and it pushes the plunger up. This gear is in absolutely perfect condition, does not require replacement. However, plunger in the middle is good too. That's your main bearing right there. Show you inside the Subaru engine. Show you all your parts and pieces and what you got. Okay, so at the bottom here you'll notice this big black round tube piece. That is your low oil pressure, not low pressure, low oil sensor. Okay, and then up top you got your crankshaft, your timing chain. Your gear, that this back gear right here is what drives your governor. You have your two timing chains, what do you call it there, plastic guides to keep pressure on them. That's your tensioner right there. Your connecting rod, your crankshaft, these are your counterweights, and your connecting rod. And then in here, it's the part that's broken. This connects up top there. And this piece right here rides on your governor. So the shaft broke. So we need to order the shaft. This engine got the shaft. And that, my friends, is all there is to this. So now we know what this engine needs. It needs the governor shaft. So that's not too bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this cover back on now that we know it's the problem. We identified the problem. We're going to order up that part. And that part comes up. That's the rod. And the other end of that rod is sticking up right here. That's why I couldn't adjust it. So that's the problem with the motor. So we don't get any crap inside the motor, and it doesn't stay opened up until the whole time we ordering parts. I'm going to screw the cover back on. Put that cover back on. You got to be careful putting these on because you don't want to break that gear. Always disconnect your spark plug before turning any engine over. Any one of them. Because they could start, even if you get the off switch. Okay, spark plug light is disconnected. I'm going to rotate this motor. Just a little bit. Let's see if I can tap that cover back on. There we go, yep. Not turn the motor over, you can break that plastic gear. Because they all have to mesh. So remember that. I've seen so many people just take the cover, throw it on there and smack it, and then boom. And then, so we don't lose the screws. See, I almost ordered the plastic gear because that's the most common. But if I did that, the gear would have came in. I would have taken this to do a video, and the part wouldn't have been the right one. The plastic gear looked absolutely fine. Some people will be like, oh, why don't you just replace it anyway while you have it apart? Well, because if it's good, it's no different than any other gear that's in there right now. Which kind of doesn't make any sense. So now that we identified the problem, this is part 2 of this video anyway. There will be a part 3. I'm not winding these in, I'm just zapping them till they seat. Now no crap will get in there. I'll leave the muffler off. That's a big enough part. And that, my friends, is how you get to the, what do you call it there, the governor, the connecting rod, the timing chain, all that stuff, on one of these Subaru engines. Pretty cool, huh? This thing's an overhead cam. So the camshaft, which would, on most engines, which would be in that crankcase, is up in the head. Up underneath the valve cover. OHC, overhead cam. And then if you look on my other motor, it says OHV, overhead valves. So this is cam, then they have valves. Real cool, huh? So always disconnect your spark plug whenever you're going to turn an engine over and you got it apart or you're working on it. Safety first, people. Tuck it down so the spark can't even jump to it. No sense of having an unnecessary accident, right? And that's it, guys. That's it. So I got to order up that governor rod for the Subaru Robin engine. That's who makes this Robin. Subaru brought out Robin. So, and then start making small engines. What makes a Subaru a Subaru? Well, in this case, Robin. Anyway, well, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. I have 2 bolts right here left over with all these on the exhaust studs, so I don't lose them. No sense of losing nuts, right? I don't like having bolts kicking around, and I like to know where they go. And if I'm not going to mark them, then I screw them back on. So, anytime I get to screw them back on, it's a good day. I'll screw these right back on where they go. In far enough so they're not going to vibrate back off. That's it, guys. Well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, by all means send them my way. If you working on one of these things, remember, put it back together the same way you took it apart. Don't be afraid to take it apart. And if you have any questions, like I said, the only stupid question is the one not asked. So you saw how I did that? I cleaned up the shaft with some sandpaper. I sprayed the lube on there, cleaned it up real quick, slid the shaft off. Sometimes you don't have to do that. Normally on generator engines, that's nice and clean. That's why I tried the first time. But it doesn't work. Pop it back on, clean it up, you're all good to go. Well, that concludes this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.